Two Worlds, One Family by Dragon Translator. Chapter 17. Break Not the Bond. After they ate, everyone left the hall. The remaining dragons still surrounded Hiccup and Astrid, though now Gyda and Fishlegs joined the middle of the procession. They headed towards the Hoffersons as Hiccup wanted to check on the young nightmare. As they walked, Hiccup, remembering something Toothless had said that morning, decided to ask about it. "Hey, Meatlug, Stonefly?" he said. "Yes, Alpha?" both dragons said together. "Toothless told me earlier that your kinds and the nightmares and the zipplebags will leave the island midwinter." "You'll leave?" Fishlegs asked Meatlug, sounding as if his world just fell out from under him. Meatlug and Stormfly suddenly stopped walking, prompting everyone to stop as well. They both looked at each other, as if realizing something neither had noticed before now. "He's right," Meatlug said. "That monster can't stop us anymore." "I've only heard tales of it," Stormfly said. "An elder spike thrower spoke of it before that monster ate her." "Share with the class?" Shadowfire said, as if he was offering a sweet suggestion. "Goofball," Frostfire muttered from his place on Gyda's back. "Shortlegs," Shadowfire returned. "You two need different insults," Toothless observed. Hiccup, Astrid, Fishlegs and Gyda snickered as Shadowfire and Frostfire stared at Toothless, with twin hurt and disbelief written across their faces. Toothless tilted his head and snorted. Hiccup shook his head, but looked back to Meatlug and Stormfly. "Where do you go?" he asked. "The hatchery," Meatlug said. Hiccup blinked. "Hatchery? You go somewhere to lay eggs?" "Yes," Stormfly replied. "Those species who go have different reasons for going. My kind need the fish that live in the warm waters there for our young to grow strong. At least that is what all the elders I've ever known said." "My kind need the pores in the hatchery," Meatlug said as they continued walking through the village. "Our eggs explode, and the pores keep our young safe. Then they grow on the rocks found there." "Your eggs explode!" Everyone looked up as Rough and Tough walked across the plaza with Barf and Belch following close behind. Hiccup frowned at the frazzled look on both of the dragons' heads. "That is awesome," Tough said. "Fish, wanna trade dragons?" Fishlegs wrapped his arms around Meatlug and glared at Rough. "Do not break the bond between rider and dragon," Gyda said softly. Everyone turned to her as Shadowfire and Frostfire began crooning. Palewing, riding upon Astrid's back again, also began crooning. She dropped from her perch and walked over to Gyda. Gyda picked her up and Shadowfire moved closer, wrapping his neck around her and prompting everyone to step away. "Gyda?" Hiccup asked, hearing a running stomp rush their way. Hookfang rang up, with Snotlight rushing after him. Both stopped, and Hookfang looked from Gyda and her family towards Hiccup. He tilted his head. "What's wrong with those dragons?" Snotlight said. "Gyda was warning us not to break the bond between rider and dragon," Astrid said. "Then her children started crooning like that." Hiccup looked up as his father and Gobber walked up, along with several other Vikings. Stoic stared at Gyda's family, who had quieted but still stood around her. "My father was bonded to a dragon," Gyda whispered. "The man who took our land once he had the law changed made the bonding to a rare dragon illegal. Umbra was a rare dragon. Dad had a choice. Give up our land because criminals could not own land, or have Umbra break the bond." Gyda paused, leaning her head against Frostfire, who nozzled her, scratching Palewing, and then laying a hand upon Shadowfire's neck. "Umbra made the decision without talking to Dad." "What happened?" Fishlegs asked in a small voice. Gyda closed her eyes. Shadowfire answered for her. "Poor Paul and Uncle Umbra died," he whispered. "If you break the bond between a dragon and their rider, you'll kill both." pale wing whispered. And it's not painless. Hiccup let go of Astrid's hand and moved over to place his hand upon the shoulder Frostfire was not laying his head upon. He then put his other hand upon Shadowfire's head and tried to hug all three of them at once. He felt and heard more people and dragons close in around them. After a few moments, they all stepped back. Hiccup looked at Toothless, then back to Gyda. She nodded. Hiccup heard his father and Astrid gasp. Toothless's eyes widened, and he leaned against Hiccup, prompting Hiccup to hold his dragon brother. What's wrong with you two? Snoutlout asked. Oh, no, Fishlegs whispered. What? Snoutlout asked, glaring at Fishlegs. Hatchling, Hookfang said softly. Remember that Stoic threatened to get rid of Protector when we were watching those images in Elder Gyda's house? I'm not a hatchling! Hookfang glared at Snotlout. Snotlout glared back. Snotlout. Had Stoic gotten rid of Toothless, both Hiccup and Toothless would have died, Gyda said. Snotlout's eyes widened. He looked from Hiccup to Hookfang. Hookfang nodded. Yes. Had Alpha and Protector died, none of this would be possible. That monster would still be alive, and no dragon would live in this nest. Whoa, Tuff said. Heavy, Ruff added. Stoic walked over and wrapped Hiccup, the Terror, and Toothless in an embrace. He then leaned down and whispered, I am sorry. It's okay, Dad. Hiccup whispered, You didn't do it. They stood like that for several heartbeats, with no one speaking. Then Stoic stepped back. Hiccup did not let Toothless go, and Toothless did not seem inclined to move away from his human brother. The Terror nuzzled Hiccup. Stoic sighed. Son, Dog's breath is gone. Gone? Toothless asked, standing and staring at his father, though he kept his arm over Toothless's head. Hawk saw Dog's breath steal a small bow and sail off. Bear's Pit verified the story. Dog's breath exiled himself from Burg. I don't know the boy's reasonings. Winter's too close. The closest island is freezing to death, Astrid said. Would the Meathead Chief allow him to land? There is another island, Gobber said softly. One more welcome into exiles. Hiccup's eyes widened. Outcast Island. Oh no. Gyda whispered as her children jerked and stared at her. What? Stoic asked. Gyda sighed, pinching the bridge of her nose. The future has changed. What do you mean? Stoic demanded. Gyda hissed. I am sorry, Chief. I know you didn't want interference, but that has already happened. Especially with Dog's breath remembering the images from my home. What was supposed to happen that's now changed? Hiccup asked. Alvin, Gyda said. He will want you to train dragons, Hiccup. He wants to use them to fight with. If Dog's breath tells him how you befriended Toothless, he'll know how to befriend a dragon himself. Toothless said. Oh, perfect, Snotlout groused. Good job, Gyda. You just killed us all. Enough! Hiccup stated firmly. It's not Gyda's fault that Dog's breath left the island. We just have to deal with what comes now. Brother, you do realize you are never going to be without a guard now, right? Hiccup groaned. He then blinked. We need to tell Lawkeeper and the other elders. Those dragons that were at Gyda's house will know what Dog's breath looks like. They can help keep an eye on the other parts of the island. Go! Stoic ordered. Riders! Hiccup cried. Mount up! Sorry, Bud, we'll have to get your food on the way. Not the time to worry about that, brother. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that one. So a bit of a heavier chapter, but again, short, and again, I like that. Yeah, poor Gyda. But also, Dog's breath. Dude can't help but make a nuisance of himself, can he? Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye, my guys, girls, and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.